So going into the race, was shooting for top 5. Depending on how the race went, hopefully snagging that #1 spot. And throughout the race, just trying to stay as relaxed as possible and not having to lead at all. Team-wise, we're looking to hopefully snag that #2 spot and get an auto qualifying for NCAAs and surprise ourselves by getting that championship and bringing home the gold. So yeah.
I wasn't that nervous going into it. I think in my mind, if the girls would just run what they're capable of, what I've seen them do day in and day out at practice, we were going to be fine. And I think that top 2 was going to be a really attainable goal, and that was our goal going into it. And then to win it was just like, you know, extra sweet.
Yeah, it was almost instantaneous. Like I finished and then was just kind of waiting to see what was happening, and found Reagan and found Megan, and then all of a sudden Reagan came running over and was saying we won, found Natalie, and then I found Walsh and confirmed that we had won. It was really overwhelming finding out that we had won, just because it's been, for me at least, 4 years in the making, and to win as a team was just so emotional and just so exciting, and to know that like our entire team is going to go to nationals was so encouraging, and that it all came together when it really mattered.
The night before we talked about going after it and no regrets, and I think that's really what we did. Carolyn's been really focused all season. I think, you know, knowing that she could go #1 possibly, and that she was one of the girls to beat in the race outright. You know, there was a lot of momentum with that, and then, you know, in our minds we thought if we raced well, we could have 5 all region, and that's kind of what they went out there and did. Dylan Hassett had, you know, probably the race of her career, and it was just because she kind of had that sense of urgency and no regrets, and went after it early on. You know, Reagan has been running really well all season. She does well off of a really aggressive start, and so she got out. She was in the mix actually around top 10 for the first maybe 2/3 of the race, and then kind of, you know, wavered a little bit, but I think as a freshman she bounced back. She rallied really well, having her teammates come along in terms of Dylan and Megan almost catching her really helped that pack move together. And Emily did a great job composing herself. I think it was a little bit of a shock first race back, but she's so experienced that she stayed really composed. I know, you know, it's not where she wants to be. She's the defending champion, and so it's hard to come back and, you know, kind of race from behind, but she stayed really focused, and I think was really more committed to the team, and I think that's part of it too. They were more focused on the team than the individual.
We're definitely looking to be top 10 and maybe even better, depending on, obviously, on how things shake out, how other teams do, how much momentum we can carry from last weekend to NCAAs, and just keeping that composure and confidence going into such a big meet will be definitely key to seeing how well we can do.
All season we've talked about it from day 1 when we got here in August, was that we wanted to be a top 10 team in the country, and I think they've seen how well they can do, and I think they believe in themselves just a little bit more, and so I think we can taste that top 10, but it's still going to be something that we have to go out and get. I'm just excited to see them come out and compete really well again, and you know, the national championships is such a special stage, and so I think just to see them really excel in that is what I'm most excited for, and I think we're in a place mentally and physically that it's going to be something that's really attainable when we get there.